Do you have projects you just can't seem to finish? Do you lack motivation? Do you miss your crochet group and the inspiration they bring to the project? Well, come crochet with me and we'll make beautiful projects together. Welcome to New Crochet, where we focus on completing projects and drawing inspiration from others, seasons, and fashions.
Hello, and today we're going to be putting our stars together. So I'm going to show you how to get started on this and get these together. So make sure that you have your pretty sides together. And I like to pop these back out on the correct side so I know that I'm working with the right sides together. Okay, and to start, I'm going to just line it up like this, one on top of each other, on top of the other. And where there is a point, I'm going to work these 4 picots together, these right here. So when you put your pretty sides together, make sure to find your point, and we're going to start on this side and work our way to this side. Now you're going to need your tapestry needle, and I would make sure that I'm using the same color yarn. If you've done different colors, make sure you use that color on the correct one, because it's gonna show if you don't. And if you like that, I mean, if you want it to show, and if you like that, go for it. But for me, I'm gonna hide my, it's all one color anyway. So okay, let's thread this tapestry needle. And what we want to do is lock our stitch. So let me show you how I do that. This is where I want to start, right here. So that is where I'm going to put my tapestry needle and just work away from that. And this yarn splits really bad, so make sure that you're going into a stitch and not a split, because it will definitely show. All right, I'm coming right back out, and then I'm just going to work my way up to this picot. All right, so I've got my yarn locked now. Okay, and then I'm putting my pretty sides together, and I'm lining those 4 up. Now if you want to use stitch markers and do this, that's fine. There's really not a wrong way to do this. All right, and since my yarn is on this side, I'm going to be going through to this side. So that's why I turned my work. And I'm just going to catch those top 2 stitches. And not splitting. This yarn splits so bad. Okay, so I've gone through those top 2 and pull that together. Now I'm going to go back over through the same way, from back to front, and this is going to lock that. Okay, you see how I did that? And then I'm just going to hide my yarn, working it underneath over to the next picot. And you'll notice we're turning our work like back and forth. So I'm now turning it again, and I'm working it from back to front. Just catching those top two stitches on both sides and pulling that yarn through. And then I'm doing it again to lock it. And I'm working in a split. Hold on. There we go. Oh. Okay, and we're gonna do that. Just work your way over to the next one and do the next two, okay? Okay, and when I get finished, this is my stitch I just finished. I'm coming back down here and I'm doing that lock. So I'm working my way back to that last picot. All right, and if you want to work with the longer yarn, you can, but I don't recommend it. I'm just making enough for these 4 stitches. And that's how it's going to look after you do the first one. Okay? Okay, I don't know if you can see this on the lap, but the way I figured this out was, okay, I had my 2 sewn together. And when we work on our next row, we want that the point of that star to have our 4 where we can work on the next one. So what we're going to have to do is, when we connect these together, we're going to have the area that is in between the points, and then line those up. So what I'm going to end up having is a picot in the middle right here when we attach the 2 on the top. So we're working this picot, I'm skipping this one, this picot, and this picot. So we're still working 4. I'm working 2 on this star and 2 on this star. But I'm having that extra picot in the middle just so we can keep our rows lined up, okay? Okay. This one might be a little bit more difficult, but you'll see what I'm talking about when you get yours going. All right. We're gonna work that the same way, back to front, and then go back again, back to front, and lock it. All right. And then we're gonna, oh, there goes my stomach. It's probably louder than my voice. We're gonna hide those stitches. Or hide our yarn in those stitches. There we go. Now this one I cut just a little bit longer. Okay, line this back up again. Okay, working back to front. locking that in. All right. And this is the picot I want to work over. I'm skipping that one. Okay. Line this up again. And I'm turning my work. Well, let me get up to that stitch. There we go. I'm turning my work. Back to front and those top 2 stitches on both sides. And then we're going back around again to lock. And if you're having trouble when you're getting this third one put on, use your stitch markers. Lay it out on a flat surface and use your stitch markers. Okay, so that was the last one. I'm going back down. Locking that, and then I'm snipping that off. And let's take a look and see what we've got. Okay, we're just gonna keep working like this and adding. What I'm doing is a 2-3 model, so I'm gonna be working 2 more on the top here, and I'm fastening this one together. This let me see if you can. This is my 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and remember your point. You're going to work point to point on each side, just like this one. Okay, and I'll put 2 more on and come back and show you how that's done. Okay, I'm working on the same row. I have my 2 at the bottom and my 1 in the middle, okay? And I'm working on the side on the 1 in the middle. And I'm lining up the point on the star. And I'm working my 4 picots. Alright, I'll need to go back to front on this. Alright. And the more you put on this, the tougher it's gonna get. But hang in there, because it's gonna be pretty when you get done. See, this yarn splits so bad. Do you see that? When you're pulling on this, you don't want to pull too tight. It's gonna look strange, if you just keep pulling on this and it's making that pucker. You just want to keep it not too loose, but not too tight, just right in the Goldilocks zone. That's our fourth one. Let's lay this out and take a look at it. All right. Can you see that? This is what we just did right here. These right here. Okay. And remember how when we attach this one, we attach this to this one, it's going to be that same way. So we're going to have that picot sticking out right there in the middle. But we need to attach these two and these two. And before I made this yarn a little bit longer, before I fasten this one off, I have to catch these two over here. Okay? So I need to keep this straight. I'm gonna Make sure I keep those lined up. And I'll go back down on this side. Working to that picot. So we have that one stuck in the middle there. Working back down. You really don't want to work or pull any of this yarn too tight. You just want to make it lay nice and flat underneath because you don't want puckers. Alright, here's our last picot before we fasten this off. And we'll go back down. And work on locking my stitch. And I'm skipping this one, just going into that next one. To that picot. And see how I pulled a little hard there and separated those stitches? That's not what I want. I want it to be nice and flat right there. Okay. All right. And I'm just going to keep working like this. I've got my one on this side. Now I gotta do this one on this side. And I'll be right back. as long as you remember to keep that third picot when you're attaching the top row to the bottom row, you should be fine. It should all work out. So I'm on this side. I'll work myself over. Okay, so when I'm getting to this bottom one, the bottom one is what I'm skipping right here. And I'm flipping this around so I can work back to front. I'm just attaching these 2 stitches right here, these 2 picots. Work my way down. I'm going to pull it too tight. Remember, keep that in the Goldilocks zone. Flipping my work, lining that up, make sure you're in the right spot. All right, back to front, and going back and locking that in. This should be my last stitch on this one. Working my way back down. Alright, and I've locked my stitch. I'm snipping that off, and let's take a look. Let's see. Okay, I've got three on this row and 2 on this row. And I'm going to keep working that pattern. So I'm going to have 2 on the next row and then 3 on the next. And I'll show you what it looks like when I get done.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's cozy crochet session. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button and ring the bell so you never miss a stitch. Share your beautiful creations with us in the comments below. Keep those hooks moving, and until next time, happy crocheting.